Hello and welcome back to the Sometimes Daily Show. Sorry there was no show yesterday. I was feeling a little under the weather, so I couldn't write you a lovely news show. But don't worry, we're going to make up for it today. I'm Philip Edwards.
And I'm Michael Palmer. Let's talk about EA's big moneymaker, FIFA. This year's instalment of FIFA was released very recently, and to everyone's surprise, it was a critical and commercial smash hit.
Just in case you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm. Critically, the game is just a carbon copy of last year's FIFA, but with some roster changes. This year's Nintendo Switch port was so egregiously bad that IGN gave it a 2 out of 10. A 2! I thought it was impossible for IGN to give anything lower than a 7. But here we are.
The reason for this low score? EA just ported over the game from last year, which itself was a port from the year before, which, you'll never believe this, was just a port of the year before. We'll stop before we bore you, but it does keep going back. The Switch version of the game has not been a wholly new experience since FIFA 17. It's gotten so bad that IGN, in an act of defiance, just copied and pasted the first half of their review from last year. Their reasoning is, if EA won't put in the effort, why should they?
Now onto the commercial side. There's a good chance we'll never know exact figures. When a game performs badly, the developers don't tend to rush out and announce that. However, we do always have our trusty yardstick, UK physical sales. These are always announced, it's the law over here in the good old UK, and the physical sales numbers are in. FIFA 21 sold more than 42% less than FIFA 20.
It's our belief that this is a sign that players of FIFA are waking up to how poorly they've been treated for the past decade. They're finally realising that EA has been screwing them, flooding their game with microtransactions and pay-to-win loot boxes, all the while not improving the experience, but like a relative with a serious drug addiction, always asking for more money.
Before we wrap, we're going to quickly debunk some of the excuses we've seen people making. People aren't buying this version, they're waiting for next gen. No, the players of FIFA are predominantly quote-unquote casual gamers. They aren't the kind of people to rush out and pick up the new console on day one. The second part I've heard for this is maybe they don't know they can get a free upgrade to the next-gen version. If they've seen any pre-release marketing for next-gen, or any marketing for FIFA 21, they've seen they can get a free upgrade, and they still aren't buying it.
Next up is, what more games are sold digitally than ever before? Also no. I mean, yes, kind of, but also no. It's true that every year more physical sales become digital, but nowhere near 42%. That's also across the entire market. I would argue that the more casual audience is far more likely to pick up a physical copy. They probably aren't the kind of people to have pre-ordered online. They're far more likely to see the game on the shelf at the local supermarket and pick it up then.
That's going to be all for today. Let us know in the comments down below if you agree with us that this could be signalling the end for EA's stranglehold on sports games, or if we're horribly wrong. If you like the show, then consider hitting that subscribe button and maybe giving it a like. Also, remember to come back tomorrow, because if you don't, then EA will buy out your favourite franchise. And if you know EA, that means they're going to butcher it, then kill off the studio. Then you'll know you should be watching the Sometimes Daily Show. So, see you tomorrow.